Guys, I watched all of Disventure Camp yesterday, and oh my god. Total Drama Island 2023 is a pretty good season of Total Drama. However, it has a lot of flaws with it. From strategic moves that characters make not making any sense, to the annoying fart jokes that happen in almost every single episode, and annoying and uninteresting characters making it very deep into the season. These are some very big problems that I had with Total Drama Island 2023, and this just made me start to think that maybe it's just impossible to have a top tier Total Drama season be 13 episodes. But then on May 19th, 2023, I decided, hey yo, fuck it. I'll stream my reaction to Disventure Camp the whole entire season all the way through. And oh my goodness,
which one of you?
This rivaled Total Drama 2023. Hey, this shit low-key gas.
Had sex reassignment surgery.
Wait, what? Huh? Now, first off, let me clarify. I do think Total Drama Island 2023 is ultimately better than Disventure Camp, and that is because Disventure Camp has some problems that no other season of Total Drama, even the worst ones, would ever have. Like the audio mixing in episode 2 was fucking insane.
Enemies exist only for those who seek their own downfall.
Don't try to sell me that cheap.
I'm pretty sure this is like very well written and shit, and it's like very riveting right now, but I can't hear shit. I can't hear shit. And the voice acting at some points is just hilariously bad, but that's because it's a fan-made project, and obviously they're not gonna have the best voice actors available. And one other thing, I auditioned for the newest season of Disventure Camp that hasn't even came out yet. I ain't even get an email back, bro. That's crazy. That's crazy. Was it really that bad? Was it really that bad? Let's see. We'll react to it right now. It would be a dream for me to be a part of the new season. I know I have a lot of potential and I could go very far in the game. Oh, hell no, y'all. Yeah. But after episode 2, they fixed the mixing. But if you're able to get past the awkward animation and the amateur level voice acting, there's some actual gold in this season. There was almost nothing that I liked about the show at first. All the characters at first felt hollow or cliche. But to be fair to Disventure Camp, this is almost how every other season of Total Drama starts. But my main problem is how these characters are introduced. Usually in Total Drama, when we're introduced to the new cast, they're one note and stereotypes. And later on in the season, we expand on these characters more. Disventure Camp does a great job at expanding on their characters, but its introduction wasn't that good. And that is the reason why I wasn't really messing with the show at first, because the tip wasn't good. The tip of the penis, and for comparison reasons, I'm going to compare it to Total Drama Revenge of the Island because it kind of follows the same format. We get introduced to the contestants on a bus and they run into camp on feet. Meanwhile, in Total Drama Revenge of the Island, we get introduced to the contestants on a boat and they swim into camp. First character introduced in Total Drama Revenge of the Island is Jo. Just based off of her dialogue and even her design, we immediately know what she is about. They reiterate her personality traits with her swimming into camp. This is done with Jo's dialogue and also with Jo's actions. Another good example is how we're introduced to Cameron in Revenge of the Island. In his first scene, he's toppled over by birds just to show that he's a weak character. And literally, in the next scene that we see Cameron in, he's the butt of a slapstick joke falling onto a rock. Hey yo, this nigga a bitch for real. We get this for almost every character in Revenge of the Island, with Anne-Maria and jokes about her hair, Lightning and him kissing his muscles, Sam, first scene, he's gaming, second scene, he's trying to save his DS from getting wet, while he is literally almost drowning. We got Mike trying to get his dick. We don't really get this in Disventure Camp. In the first scene, we have a conversation between Aiden and Oliver. And the only thing we learn about these characters is that Oliver was an intern. We don't really learn anything about Aiden in this scene. I mean, I guess you can say that he watched all the seasons before he came here and that he might be nice because he was making small talk with people, but it's not really that much. And I don't want to rag on the first episode too much because we do get good introductions to characters. My favorite introduction is Connor's because in this one scene, I immediately know who Connor is. This is probably due to like the show don't tell rule when it comes to writing scripts, because in this scene, instead of Connor having a confessional about him struggling to fit in, we actually see him struggling to fit in. They also do a good job at introducing Yule. Like as soon as bro came across my screen, I knew I was gonna hate this nigga, and I hated that nigga.
Time with menopause.
Oh hell no. Oh hell no, I'm not dealing with this nigga either. And the reason I'm comparing Disventure Camp episode 1 and episode 2, not really episode 2 because I couldn't hear the bitch. The mixing was terrible. I don't even know if episode 2 was good, to be honest, because I couldn't hear because of the tunes that was playing in the background. If I'm being honest, I didn't hear episode 2. But you might be asking, why am I even comparing Disventure Camp to the original Total Drama? And that is because episode 3 through 5 is some of the best total drama out there. And I am being dead ass right now. I'm so serious. The pre-merge of Disventure Camp is the best pre-merge Total Drama has ever produced, or anything Total Drama adjacent. And if you disagree with that, your opinion is wrong, argue in the comments. I am 110% right on this. And the reason is because every single episode builds on the last and it escalates. Just when you think the story can't get any more crazier, it does. One thing I'll say about this season, it definitely got its fan service. And he talking about Rewind again. See, it definitely got its fan service for people like you, bro. Now, Disventure Camp benefits from the fact that it's not made by Cartoon Network, it's made by people on YouTube, so they can go a little darker and a little further with some of the topics that they cover. And oh my goodness, they use that to their advantage.
You two lied to my face?
Why are you surprised? You're the one who believed it.
You got...
Yes, I do, you miserable piece of...
Oh shit! Oh shit!
We don't have a choice. We better get ready. Come on, Tess. Wake up.
Yes, I'm coming.
Yesterday I talked...
Episode 3, we have a kissing competition. And I know right now, some of you sick fucks on the internet had a field day with that episode. Episode 4, we pretty much have the challenge from Revenge of the Island episode 2, Truth or Laser Shark. But Disventure Camp did it way better. Oh my god. Using this challenge as a way to expose these characters' darkest secrets. Also having that parallel with Crystal's character derailment was genius. And then we end off the episode with like high level strategic play. Like this shit belong on Survivor. Like the OG original Total Drama would never do some shit like this. The thing is, Disventure Camp didn't do this with some high off the wall wacky challenge. They literally took an afterthought of a challenge that Revenge of the Island had and got the most out of that concept. We continue this insane streak into episode 5. And again, the challenge isn't crazy. Crystal is just daring the contestants to do stuff. But instead of it being a life-threatening challenge, it's just psychological torture for some of these contestants. Like she straight up just tells Tess, hey yo, you know those antidepressants that you got? Throw them in the fire. They tie this all in pretty much with just Crystal's character derailment. She starts off not trying to be like her dad, which I'm assuming is Chris McClane, and throughout the episode she becomes worse than Chris ever was. And then we end the episode off with another strategic twist happening with Yule's elimination. This was a shocker because usually the season villain makes it deep into the season, but Yule's voted off in episode 5. That's followed by another good episode in episode 6, but in episode 6 a problem starts to come into fruition. After episode 7, when Yule is voted off and Crystal's character derailment arc comes to an end, we kind of don't have any conflict throughout the season. I mean, we do have some conflict with Crystal coming back and everything, but it's not as interesting as it was through episode 3 and episode 5. This turns into a big problem in episodes 7, 8, and 9. Now with Crystal not really trying to humiliate the contestants, and now that Yule's gone and there's no conflict between the contestants left in the game, it kind of starts to get boring. Still character growth in contestants like Lake, and we still get a slow build up into the relationship between Aiden and James. But besides that, we really got nothing else. And I think my main problem with the later half of the season is the strategic play. Later on in the season, Tez, Hunter, and Allie are considered to be a power couple, so the other 5 contestants just team up and pretty much vote them off. Now there are some bumps in the road with Lake's elimination and Carol coming back, but in the final 5 is 4v1. However, from this point on, the show does heat up again.
Hey, I didn't see you there. I am in a room talking to myself. If you want to support me even more, follow the Twitch.
I've watched all of Disventure Camp
Twitch should
on
be
there,
popping up
and
right
you
here.
missed it, dummy.
If you don't want to watch me live, which I get it, some people are racist, follow the second channel. It's basically just all the Twitch clips and highlights on that channel. If you really don't want to be racist though, follow both of the channels, the Twitch and the second channel. Thank you for your time, and let's get back to the video.
In episode 10, we are at the final 5, and pretty much it's just Hunter versus everybody else. However, after having a heart-to-heart with Rosa Maria, she wants to help him. Now, is this a dumb strategic move? Yes, but is in character for Rosa Maria to do this. And also, to add on top of that, somebody has stole everyone else's personal items. All this together leads into a pretty entertaining episode with the Alliance of 4 all teaming up on Hunter, but Rosa Maria feeling conflicted and trying to kind of help Hunter and kind of not help Hunter at the same time. And on top of that, once it's revealed that Rosa Maria is the one that actually stole the personal items from everyone else, Rosa Maria gets the boot. But it actually wasn't Rosa Maria who stole the items, it was Rhea. And the thing is, this moment would have been so much more dramatic if there was better voice actors. Like, look at this shit.
Thank you for coming with me, Rhea.
It's the last I can do.
I don't know what happened, but you have to be careful of James.
Don't worry, I have a plan to deal with James.
Rhea, I didn't steal anything.
I know, Rosa. It was me.
What? But how?
I stole James' phone and put it in your backpack, along with my perfume. I also took your immunity totem.
You did all that? Did you frame me? Did you make me look like a thief in front of everyone?
I was acting, Rosa. The boys didn't doubt it for a second.
Rhea, why did you do this to me?
We can betray each other inside the game and still be friends outside of it. Just like you betrayed the Alliance by spoiling the plan to Hunter. These are things that happen in this game.
The problem isn't the game, it is you, Rhea. You let the competition change you. You may win the million, but you will be alone again.
Come on, Rosa. Don't be mad.
I am not mad. I am disappointed.
can tell that the writers meant for this to be a big moment, and it was. It actually was a good twist for the show, but the delivery and the animation, I just wish it was better. And what I mean by animation is the expression on Ria's face. Like, you just betrayed your best friend in the game and you got no emotion on your face at all. And the thing that disappoints me the most about this moment is that they were leading up to Ria being like a surprise villain throughout the whole season. Like, this was successfully built up to. They kept on giving you small, teeny tiny hints that Ria would do something like this. And then when it finally happens, it doesn't have that same punch because visually it's not that pleasing. That just goes to show you how important voice acting and animation is in the actual total drama. Now, obviously, I don't want to shit on the voice actors because they're not professional, and I'm pretty sure they did their best when delivering this line, but I'm sorry, this moment just didn't hit. And it was very disappointing because the lead up to this moment was actually foreshadowed and very well written. We get another good episode in episode 11 with Ria being the new villain of the season. I really like Ria as a villain because of her strategical I also, in general, when it comes to total drama, like it when there's less contestants left in the season, because this generally means each person gets more screen time, and we also get some neat and interesting interactions that we wouldn't have gotten earlier in the season. Also, every conversation feels like it has more weight to it because every decision that these characters are making has a larger impact on the story as a whole, with it becoming closer to the end of the season. This excitement usually begins to wane when we start to hit the final few episodes, with it being the final 3 or the final 2. And it also did with Disventure Camp. Episode 12 and 13 I'm gonna count as the final episode because they were the finale. And I'll say it was an alright finale. It wrapped everything up in a bow. I like how they gave every single character an ending. But if I had to complain, I didn't really like how they vilified Ria and ended her character arc. Like, sure, she betrayed her friend and she was like the villain for the end game, but I didn't like how they had her out in the ocean and she almost dies, and then Rosa Maria saves her, and now Rosa Maria is looked at as this very noble character. Like, that was so unnecessary. Even though I understand that Ria was a main antagonist for the end game of the season, I still don't feel like that she should have been portrayed this way. Mainly because she was a multifaceted character, and earlier in the season, we saw her struggle to make friends in general. And just seeing that all happen again felt very mean-spirited, even if it was warranted. I don't know, I could be really biased because I really liked Ria as the villain of the season, and I'm kind of getting tired of the cliche in total drama where it's the villain versus the hero in the finale, because then it's like very predictable on who the winner actually is gonna be, and that, I believe, takes a lot of the punch out of the final episode of a total drama season. Now, I'll give it to him, having Aiden being the third person voted out was a huge shocker for me. But once James made it to the final 2, I pretty much knew he was going to win the whole thing. But overall, I really appreciate how they were able to wrap up every storyline in the finale.
Yes, I did. This season comes to an end with an emotional and exciting resolution. But a new one is underway, where we will have Oliver in charge of the production and supervision of the challenges.
Wait, what? For real?
Will we stay in this camp? Will we have a new cast, or will we see familiar faces again? Who will be the new intern now that Oliver has been promoted? Find out on the next season. I am Crystal, and this was Disventure Camp!
Hey yo bro, I swear to God, give me one night with that and I'll tear that shit off. Overall, Disventure Camp had a lot of good and a lot of bad to it. It kind of misses the staples that original Total Drama has, like the comedy and the slapstick. Another major bummer about Disventure Camp is that it didn't really make me laugh at all. I don't think I laughed once watching the season. But Disventure's strong suit is definitely the drama aspect of it. From episode 3 to episode 5, the way they ramped up, the way they added on to characters, the way they used the challenges to add more drama to like the interpersonal relationships between the characters was amazing. Overall, Disventure Camp is really good. And I'm gonna say something crazy. I'm gonna say something crazy right now because I truly believe this. If you gave Disventure Camp and made the Total Drama writers rewrite it, but they had to follow all the same major story beats. Y'all ready for the crazy take? Y'all ready? I honestly believe that it would have been the best Total Drama season of all time. I just said that. I just said that. And I believe it too. The problems with Disventure Camp as a whole is the animation, is some of the dialogue between the characters, is the fact that there's no comedy, is the fact that there's no like original Total Drama slapstick. So if you gave this to the original writers of Total Drama, they added the slapstick, they added some of the Total Drama comedy that we know and love, minus the farts, I honestly believe that this would have been the best season of Total Drama. And I say that with my chest held high. If you disagree, argue with your mama or argue with me in the comments. I will respond.